Thop, 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 thop. Thop, 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 thop. Thop, 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 thop. Hey everyone, Robert here. So today we're going to start with the tokens. See if y'all can guess the deck. Thopter, 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 Construct, 1/1 Defender, Mirror, Horror, Servos. Alright, so if you guessed right, you guessed we are playing Breya, Ethereum Shaper. She is greenless, 4/4. When she enters the battlefield, you get 2/1/1 Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Pay 2 mana, sack 2 artifacts, choose 1. Treat damage target player. Target creature gets -4/-4, or you gain 5 life. She is a very, very fun commander. When she was spoiled, I instantly knew that I wanted to build around her versus any of the others, and I actually think this was the only deck from that cycle of commander decks that I bought just to get her. So, that being said, let's look at the deck. So this is an artifact deck, so I guess we'll go ahead and just, you know what? We're going to get into the good stuff in a minute. Let's talk about the lands. Most of this I'm not even going to talk about. I'm just going to show you, except for one, because the card is weird. So, fetches, Myriad Landscape, Floodplain, Evolving Wilds, Bloodstained Mire. That's the one I want to talk about. Flooded Strand. Thawing Glaciers. So this land kills me. Thawing Glaciers comes into play tapped. Pay 1, tap, search your library for a basic land, put it into play tapped. This doesn't count towards your 1 land per turn limit, so regular search. But you shuffle your library and then put Thawing Glaciers into its owner's hand. So this card. There are some games I get this out and I lose because my mana is too slow because I'm relying on this card. And then there are other games where this card just does so much work and accelerates me so much and thins my deck out so much that ultimately I end up winning the game because it put me in such a good situation with my mana. So I really don't know what to think about this card because it's 50-50 for me, but it is in here nonetheless, and it stays in because of those games where it just does an insane amount of work. Alright, only land I really wanted to talk about. The rest of them are pretty straightforward on what they do. Hallowed Fountain, Steam Vents, Blood Crypt, Watery Grave, Godless Shrine, Sacred Foundry, Spire of Industry, any color, it's an artifact deck, Command Tower, Temple of the False God, Dread Sanctuary, Foundry of the Consoles, which makes Thopters, by the way, Reliquary Tower, Dark Steel Citadel, Temple of Deceit. I think actually, yeah, this deck runs all the temples: Epiphany, Enlightenment, Malice, Triumph, Deceit, Arcane Sanctum, and Mystic Monastery. Basics, we have 2 swamps, 3 plains, 5 islands, and 3 mountains. Alright, so let's get into the good stuff. Alright, where do I want to start? Not there, not there, not there. Card draw. Padim, Console of Innovation. 4 mana, 1/4. Artifacts you control have hexproof. Beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact with the highest mana cost or tied, draw a card. Skull Clamp. +1/-1 when equipped. 1 mana to play, 1 to equip. When equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards. We've got a whole lot of 1/1s, so for 1 mana, this can kill something and draws 2 cards. We got a lot of mana, we can draw a lot of cards. Thopter Spy Network, 4 mana enchantment. Beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 Thopter into play, and it has flying. Whenever 1 or more artifacts you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So double duty, gives us tokens and draws us cards. Playing 1 Swiftfoot Boots, because it's a great card. We are also playing one reanimating spell. Well, an actual spell that reanimates. Refurbish, 4 mana, return an artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. Some removal here. Unlicensed Disintegration. Dispatch, because it's a 1 mana path to exile. Well, better than path, because we're going to have Metalcraft majority of the time. Anguish Unmaking. 3 life, exile any non-land permanent. Yeah, I can deal with that 3 life loss. And a Vindicate. 3 extra turn spells. The best time warp. In my opinion, I really like that picture. That's nice. Temporal Mastery. 7 mana, take an extra turn. Yeah, that kind of sucks. However, if we miracle it, it's 2 mana, take an extra turn. And you have to exile this, which sucks a lot, but they can't be having us with these anymore where you can't exile them, unfortunately. And 1, Walk the Aeon. Sack 3 islands for buyback. 6 mana, take an extra turn. Really not a fan of the 6 and 7 mana cost on them. Let's look at our tutors. 1 Mystical Tutor. Search for an instant or sorcery, reveal it, shuffle it, put it on top. Fabricate. 3 mana. Search for an artifact, reveal it, put it in your hand. Consider this a tutor because 4 mana, tap it. Tap X artifacts, look at the top X, put 1 of them in your hand, the rest on the bottom of any order. If we get enough tokens out, we can look at 10, 20, possibly 30 cards and just pick one that we really want. So that's pretty good. And Cold Datha Forge Master. 5 mana, 3/5, tap, sack 3 artifacts, search for an artifact, put it on the battlefield. We've got some board wipes here because this is a combo deck, obviously. And we want to be able to set up our combo and not have to worry about anything. So these are some of them flexible, like this one. And then others just straight up destroy all creatures to keep the board clear until we can combo off. So 6 mana, choose 1. Exile all artifacts, exile all creatures, exile all enchantments, or exile all planeswalkers. Damnation, 4 mana, destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. Phyrexian Rebirth, 6 mana, destroy all creatures. You get an XX token. X is the number of creatures destroyed that way. Day of Judgment. Supreme Verdict, can't be countered. And Fumigate. That one's mainly in here for flavor, because it's got Thopters in the picture. This is a Thopter deck, so yeah. Let's look at Mana Rocks. Soul Ring. Darksteel Ingot, indestructible, taps for any color. Commander Sphere for us, taps for any color. And you can sack it to draw a card. Keynote. Hedron Archive, taps for 2, or you can pay 2, sack it, draw 2 cards. 1 Metalworker, 3 mana, 1/2, tap him, reveal any number of artifacts from your hand, add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool for each card revealed this way. Ooh, honorary. Storm the Vault. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure artifact token that sacks for any color mana. Beginning of your end step, if you control 5 more artifacts, transform. 2 Vault of Catlacan. Tap add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Okay, so I thought it was colorless this whole time and I hadn't been using it. Right, so yeah, that makes me a little sad. However, bottom, tap, add blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. A Mox Opal and a Gilded Lotus. Alright, let's look at our payoffs, then we'll go Planeswalkers and combos last. So, Contraband Kingpin, Lifelink, whenever an artifact enters battlefield under your control, scry 1, 2 mana, 1/4. Quicksmith Genius, 3 mana, 3/2. Whenever an artifact enters battlefield, you can discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Girpur Aether Grid, 3 mana enchantment. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. Deal 1 damage, strike creature or player. Reckless Fireweaver, whenever an artifact enters battlefield, deal 1 damage to each opponent. Well, under your control. Akroma's Memorial. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and pro red and pro black. Chief Engineer, 2 mana, 1/3, gives all your artifacts convoke. Myco Synth Golem. I hope I said that right. 11 mana 4/5 that has affinity for artifacts, and he gives artifact creature spells you play affinity for artifacts. You know, hindsight, he probably should come out. I could probably find something much better because I don't have as many artifact creatures in here as I did in the original build. So, yeah, there's a few things in here that probably could come out because it went more towards the combo build than it did a straight-up artifact deck. Hellkite Tyrant, 6 mana, 6/5, flying trample, deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 more artifacts, you win the game. Alright, so let me get these separated into the categories I want them in. Alright, so for relevance, that stack is a combo piece. That being said, that's going last. So let's look at Planeswalkers. Saheeli Rai, 3 mana 3. I have used her -7 before. Lets us search up 3 artifacts, put them into play. They all have to have different names. Great for a commander because everything's got different names. But most of the time it's her -2, making a token of one of our combo pieces or something. And her plus to scry 1 helps us cycle through our deck again, get rid of things that we may not need. Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas. +1, look at the top 5. Reveal an artifact, put it in your hand. -1, something becomes a 5/5. -4, target player loses X life, you gain X life. X is twice the number of artifacts you control. Tezzeret the Schemer, you get a artifact token named Ethereum Cell that sacks for mana of any color. -2, target creature gets +X/-X. X is the number of artifacts you control. And -7, you get an emblem with. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5. So, those some 5/5 Thopters coming your way. Tezzeret the Seeker. Really, he's here for the -X. He's a tutor. Search your library for an artifact, mana cost X or less, put it into play. And ready. +1, you get a 1/1 with Defender, so that was that token. -1, sack an artifact, destroy a creature or artifact. And -6, choose target artifact card in a graveyard or on the battlefield. Put 3 tokens. Oh, I can't get the focus to stay. Put 3 tokens that are copies of that onto the battlefield. Yeah, that was weird, like really weird. I kept seeing the focus just go crazy on that. Alright, so let's look at some of these. Thopter Engineer, 3 mana 1/3. When it enters, you get a 1/1 Thopter. Artifact creatures you control have haste. Hangerback Walker, XX, enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it. When he dies, you get a 1/1 Thopter token for each 1/1 counter that was on him. You can pay 1, tap him, put a 1/1 counter on him. Sly Requisitioner, 5 mana 2/2, improvise. Whenever a non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard, you get a 1/1 servo. Shrine of the Loyal Legion, beginning of your upkeep, and every time you cast a white spell, you can put a charge counter on it. Pay 3, tap, sack it. Get a 1/1 colorless mirror for each charge counter that was on it. And Efficient Construction, whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 Thop. Alright, and our combo pieces. So all of these, everything they do, the side abilities are pretty irrelevant in this deck because all we really care about is that when they come into play, they make 2 1/1 tokens. So this Thopters, servos, Thopters. I think all of them, majority of them, well 3 are 4 mana, 2 5s, and 1 6. So why is this relevant? Nim Deathmantle. Quick creature gets +2/+2 intimidate and is a black zombie. When a non-token creature is put into a graveyard from battlefield, you can pay 4. If you do, return that card to the battlefield attached to Nim Deathmantle. So what we are trying to do is get Ashnod's Altar out, have Nim Deathmantle in play in any of these guys that make 2 tokens. You sack a token, get 2 mana. You sacked the non-token creature, and then with Nim Deathmantle, you use that 4 mana to bring the creature back, equip to this, get 2 more tokens. So there was 1 token left behind. Then you do it again, sack 1 token, sack the non-token creature, use the 4 mana to get it back, you get your dude back, with two tokens left behind that time. So each time you go through this loop, you're netting 1 extra token. And keynote, when you use Marionette Master with it, you're leaving behind 2 extra tokens every time you go through the loop. We have Cart Clan Expedition, so that we have 2 actual ways to go through this loop with Breya. So all these creatures can only go through the loop using Ashnod's Altar, because they are not artifact creatures themselves. They are just regular creatures that produce artifacts. Breya, however, is an artifact creature. So if we get Ashnod's Altar, in which if we tutor it up, we're always going to get Ashnod's Altar first, our backup is to play Breya and use the Cart Clan Ironworks and go through the loop that way. And our last combo of the deck, and the one time that I actually did pop Saheeli Rai, this is what I searched for. Thopter Foundry, 1 mana, sack a non-token artifact, get a 1/1 Thopter. Sword of the Meek. When a 1/1 creature comes into play under your control, return Sword of the Meek from your grave to play attached to that creature. And Time Sieve. Sack 5 artifacts, take an extra turn. So, pay a mana, sack this, get a 1/1. Sword of the Meek comes back attached to that 1/1. Do that 5 times. Sack 5 artifacts, take an extra turn. You sack all your Thopters. Infinite turns right there. All you need is 5 mana. Well, guys, that is my Breya Ethereum Shaper. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.